Ho, 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 motherfuckers. I might not be Santa Claus, but you know what? I'm jolly and I'm a fat ass. And you know what else? I can cook. And today, we're going to show you how to make an easy Christmas dinner for you and your family. We're going to go in here in the kitchen. Now, today what we're going to prepare is we're going to do a very simple turkey dinner, but without making a whole turkey. A good way for a little shortcut is to buy these boneless, skin-on turkey breasts, which you can find usually around this time of year in any supermarket. And we're not taking any shortcuts, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to make real giblet gravy today. And you can also buy, as you can see, a pack of giblets. And this is the ultimate stoner thing right here. You cook these up, you smoke some pot, and then you eat, you know, these crappy pieces of meat afterwards. So we have the turkey, we have the giblets, we have Yukon Gold potatoes, which are the best potatoes for making mashed potatoes, because we're going to make a smashed potato, not a mashed potato. And in that smashed potato, we're going to put very high quality Tillamook vintage white cheddar cheese in it, as well as butter, light, you know, be healthy, and you have whole milk for the potatoes. For vegetables, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do green beans. I'm going to show you how to prepare these properly and wash them before you cook them. And of course you need chicken or turkey broth. I decided to go with chicken today. It's lower in sodium. And right now what I have going on the stove here is I have a pot that's coming up to a boil for our potatoes. Are you looking at that? Why don't you bring your ass closer into the kitchen? There you go. Now, first thing we got to do, guys, is we got to prepare our potatoes, because this is going to take the longest to cook. And the way we're going to do that is, let me go ahead and turn the heat up here in my skillet. We're going to sear those turkey breasts. What we're going to do these potatoes is we're going to take a colander. Any colander will do. We're going to put some of these potatoes in there. We call them a colander. You call them a strainer, whatever you want to say. You know what I'm talking about. We're going to put all the potatoes in there. And then we're going to go ahead and turn on some cold water. Because you want to rinse these off. They could be really dirty. All right, they grow underneath the fucking ground. All right. So give them a nice good rinse. Just turn the strainer around and underneath the water. Make sure they're nice and rinsed off really well. Because we don't want our mashed potatoes to taste like dirt. That would not be good. Your mom would have a heart attack. Your girlfriend would slap the shit out of you and you wouldn't get laid for a month. Now, I'm just going to grab a knife over here. And to get these potatoes to cook evenly and quickly, what you want to do is you want to cut them in quarters. So it's one across that way, okay? And then it's another one across lengthwise. And just set them aside, do it again. Lengthwise. Okay. Maybe you should have a sharper knife than me. Okay. Lengthwise again. Alright, you can start recording. So now we got these potatoes cut up. We want to prepare the water for cooking these. And as you can see, it's on a very high boil right now, which is how we want it. And you should never boil anything without salting your water. So I'm just going to sprinkle some salt in there. Maybe a little more. Okay. Healthy dose of salt. Also, just to keep your potatoes from sticking to the bottom or the sides of the pot, which can happen sometimes. I'm going to get in here and get a shot of this pot, please. Pour just a little bit of oil in its own cap. I'm using canola oil. Literally, you can see how little amount I'm putting in. Just a little bit. Okay. Now, what you want to do is now you can see we've cut up all of our potatoes nice and evenly in quarters. You want to drop them into the strainer once again. Break out any that didn't cut all the way. Just drop them into the strainer. And just give them one more quick rinse, just for good measure. Okay? Don't have to worry about getting them dry or anything, because they're going right in the water. nice and easy. It's alright, it's just water. Alright, so, next step. You want to turn on your oven. Get a shot of this. Your oven needs to be at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And this pan needs to be we heated it up earlier, we put it on medium to low heat. Okay? We're going to use the rest of the oil. Not too much, just coat the bottom of the pan. And you have to get a good sear on these turkey breasts, because if we don't, they're not going to be money. And they got to be money. Because it doesn't matter who you're making this for, this is for Christmas, right? And you could have your Christmas dinner a week ahead of time, you know, and maybe you're cooking for your mom or your family, and they're going to be buying you gifts, okay? So you want to butter them up. You want that iPod, you want that iPhone, whatever the fuck you're looking for. And if it's for your girlfriend, she's going to come back to you in the bedroom. So, all right, now, for our turkey breasts, we got two. You know, we're fat asses in this family, so one for each person is good, is healthy serving. But you know, in a more conservatively, maybe a more healthy family, maybe one for two people would be more appropriate, and then you can slice it accordingly. Okay, so just use your knife, get the plastic open. All right, we're going to season these up with some pepper, salt, a few other things before we throw it in for the sear. And you want your oil to sit in that pan. You want it to that's why we put the oil in first, because it has to be really hot to get good sear on these turkey breasts. That's the key to a sear. Now, we want pepper. We got our salt out, a little bit of sage, and that's it. Nice and simple. Okay, so once again, a little bit of salt. Good amount of salt. Sprinkle it on your breasts. You know what I like to say, if you cook these breasts really well for your girlfriend, then you'll get some other kinds of breasts later. Little bit of pepper. We're only going to season the skin side because there's really no reason for a cut of meat like this to do both sides. I know Emerald would probably kill me. He always says you don't want one-sided seasoned meat, but we're going to be searing these and baking them afterwards, so we're going to be baking in the oven bottom side down. And we don't want the pepper to burn. Okay, a little bit of sage, not too much, don't overdo it. Okay, sage is a really good spice for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Whenever you cook poultry, it works all the time. What you want to do is you want to come into this pan with this breast, skin side down. Listen to that. That's what you're looking for. That's what you're looking for, ladies and gentlemen. Nice sizzle. And you do it skin side down, you want that skin to get nice and crispy. We're going to prepare. Alright, so we're going to use this cookie sheet since someone who I won't name lost my pan. So this will have to do. Now our turkey breast is searing, our potatoes are boiling, the oven is turning up the temperature. This is a good opportunity to prepare green beans. And what I like to do, I like to get out a little thing like this to catch the ends, because we're going to trim the ends off. So one of the biggest obstacles to preparing fresh green beans is not washing them or cooking them, it's preparing them, because they're a pain in the ass. Alright? Now, a lazy stoner like me, I don't have time to be taking a knife to the ends of my green beans and getting those little prickly ends off, alright? I like to use surgical scissors. And if you don't have one of these, you're missing out. If you can't find them, yank one from the fucking hospital. Here we go. So these are your green beans. Come in close, really close. Really close. Okay? Here's your green beans. Hold them, get them even, and just trim them with these surgical scissors. You just want to get those little ends off. Don't trim too much off. And these are so small that you can get inside there and you won't miss any. and you won't have an uneven cut either. Just turn them around, do the same thing. Make sure you do this over the trash or a bowl, because these things go everywhere. All right. Okay, let's check on our turkey breast. All right. Look at that, folks. That's what you're looking for. A nice golden brown sear on the outside. Now you do it for maybe a few minutes on the bottom. And then after you do it maybe 2 or 3 more minutes on the bottom, put it in the pan. Next one goes in. Sear that one. Put it in the pan. And then throw it in the oven, 375 to an internal temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit. Or I eyeball it personally. So our potatoes are going. Turkey's cooking. We're preparing our green beans. We'll be right back with you in a few minutes. We're going to show you how we make a perfect turkey breast. Hey, motherfuckers! We're almost done here. We got our potatoes boiling. We got our giblets boiling in the water. We're making a nice stock for our gravy, and our turkey breasts are in the oven baking. We just got done trimming our green beans, and let's go ahead and go back in the kitchen. Let's see what we're working with. So right here we have our Super Stonerlicious giblets, and that's a mixture of turkey necks, livers, hearts, and they are, as you can see. We have a lot of them in here because we don't have much time, and I want a lot of them in a small amount of liquid so I can make an easy stock really quickly. Our green beans are nice and trimmed, perfectly trimmed, ready to go. We're not going to put them in yet because we're going to blanch them very quickly. And we have our shredder set up. This is going to be for our cheese. We're going to go ahead and transfer the green beans into this pan for the time being just to hold them. Because we got to strain our potatoes, which are done boiling. So now that our potatoes are done, what we want to do okay, go ahead. Alright, so we're straining our potatoes. You want to do this while they're still hot. We have a limited time frame. We want that cheese to melt up real nice, and we want our butter to melt in there, our milk to come with it, to come together. Make sure you get all the excess water off of it. Okay, put it back in the pot, back in the hot pot you cooked it in. And you can see these potatoes are really nice and fluffy and creamy. And that's why you always want to use Yukon Golds. If you use russet potatoes, it's going to come out okay. It's not going to be as good, and you got to take the skins off. The skins are nice and soft. So get a whisk. You want to eyeball this. You want about, I would say, maybe 3/4 of a cup of whole milk, not too much. Now, a little secret is I love to use, I can't believe it's not butter, just because of the way it tastes in my mashed potatoes. You can use any other kind of butter, but nothing really compares to this. And this is a light version, too. You want a nice, healthy amount of this butter. That's where all the flavor is, buddy. Knock your fucking socks off. Now, next thing we need is a little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. Not that much. We want the cheese and the butter to shine in this. Now, if you add some thyme or some oregano or some dill, dill and thyme especially go really well in this. Now we're going to get our very good block of cheese. Very expensive. I found it on sale today, or else I would not have bought it, because I cannot afford it. And we're going to go, I always like to shred my cheese from a block. And I'll tell you why. Because the bagged shredded cheese is very low moisture and very low oil content. And if you buy the block, and you shred the block, It's got all that oil and all that creaminess in it. And even if you get a cheap block, it's better than a cheap bag of shredded. Remember that. Okay, so I'm just going to pull back a little bit of this wrapping. You can see that that's white cheddar cheese. Okay, so our potatoes they'll be all white. And we're just going to go ahead and start shredding.